That's great. But anyway, I'm here to talk to you about ideas, and why am I here to talk about ideas? Because I spent the last, glad you asked, because I spent the last 2 years doing nothing but thinking about ideas and thinking about ways that organisations use ideas and how we screw up ideas and how we don't use the ideas to our full potential. And the last 2 years I've looked at 4,000 ideas and about 300 of them we could use. So it gives you an idea of the hit rate of ideas. You know, it's very easy to have an idea, it's very hard to actually do something with it. But the thing about ideas is we love them. We're humans, we love ideas. So we went from little monkey guy, and then we turned into this half monkey man with a rock. And I'm sure that was a big breakthrough for that guy. And then he has a stick, this guy has a stick, and then I guess he doesn't need a stick anymore because he's got probably a gun somewhere. But every stage of our evolution we've had ideas, and those ideas have been cool. And ideas reward us with this aha moment and we feel good. Whenever you have an idea, you feel good. And that's nature's way of saying, have ideas. We don't like to think about things, but when we have thought about things, we feel good about them. So, you know, you should feel good about ideas. Now, Mark had funny African animals up here, and that was really cool and everything. But what I'd like to walk you through is my trip through video game history. And people say you waste your time with video games. I couldn't disagree. The amount of memories and the joy that these things have brought me over the years. You know, it's maybe my family and then these guys. So let's start at the beginning here. The Atari 2600 was pretty cool. I mean, when I was like 6, this was awesome, man. River Raid, the whole Breakout game, fantastic. And then this thing came into my life, Nintendo Entertainment System, the original, Mario Brothers, etc. Great times. Sega Master System, I was one of the few kids that had both a Sega and a Nintendo. Nintendo 64 was a great drinking game through college. Played GoldenEye, the Mario Party was fantastic. Then we had the PlayStation 1, locked myself in my bedroom for a long time with that. PlayStation 2, eventually I graduated to that. And then, you know, I had these guys, wife and daughter.
Good idea, James.
The kibosh a bit on my whole video game existence. It's real cute, right? But the point remains that in 1984 I was forced to play this game, Donkey Kong, with this depiction of a gorilla. And this guy. Who knows who this guy is?
Luigi.
Mario. Yeah, you all knew that? That's how he looked in 1984. Not good. He's very pixelated. So we went from that to watching Tiger Woods stand around, going to go to the driving range in real life, you know, in realism. Kind of boring though, but you know, the point is we moved on and on and on. And how do we move on? It was these synapsual connections from millions and millions of these video game computer geeks who've gone through thousands and thousands of ideas and iterations between 84 and 2005. Today even, I haven't got up to the PlayStation 3 yet. But it's the end result of thousands of ideas. And these consumer electronic companies pay millions to get these ideas into their products. They have these focus groups that last forever and ever, and they do thousands of surveys, and they listen to gamers, and they go to gaming technologies at conferences, and they bring in all these ideas from outsiders. And we go from this joystick to this joystick. And why do we like this joystick? Because it makes them millions and millions of dollars. That's why they do it. That's why they look for these ideas. Because if I was 12, that thing would have been awesome. You know, if I was playing my Atari 600 and I saw that thing, my God, I would, you know, the things I would have done. However, moving with purpose to the other side of the room. One thing we don't look at, I think there's a whole pot of gold here by looking at the internal process the same way as we look at external products. We just don't go to the same depth to try and improve our internal processes. Yeah, we have consultants, fantastic, and hopefully get us a job eventually. But we don't have focus groups as much, we don't survey as much, and I think we're leaving a lot of money on the table as an organisation. And we can't get these ideas into our internal processes as much as we get the ideas into our consumer products. And the reason I believe it is because of this, which is your traditional hierarchy. It sort of looks like an org chart of most companies. And I know Chris Jackson will come in here and tell you that we have clusters and we have matrices and all the rest of it, but that just means you have 3 bosses instead of 1. So is you have the operators, these blue guys down the bottom, and they do what the middle management tells them, and the middle management's really just telling them what the octagon or the hexagon up here is talking about. So basically, one guy has an idea, hexagon, tells the trapezoids what to do, and then these blue dots have to work their ass off to make it happen. Now, where do we get this structure from, moving with purpose? We got it from... This is what the Roman army looked like. We had Julius Caesar at the top here. We had Russell Crowe in the middle, making things happen. And we had this poor dude out there giving his life on the line for the great glory of Rome. We also got this organisation structure from the church. So we had the Pope. He was back in the Middle Ages, still doing what he's doing. There's actually one level above that, which Aylward could tell us all about. And then you have cardinals in there, and you have priests, and you have altar boys with lay people, and However, you'll notice that the org chart behind it still stays the same. So, why is that so, I hear you ask? I don't know. And I'd like to know the answer, because the Roman Church, the Roman Army, the Catholic Church, or the Roman Catholic Church, or whatever you want, they have no competitors. Well, back in the day, they had no competitors. They were around for forever. They're very good organisations at getting messages from the top down. Not so good at getting the feedback. Julius Caesar wasn't a huge open door policy there, I guess. feedback loop just wasn't present. But we still have these organisation charts. And when we do group projects, I don't know, maybe in some of the groups other than mine, but we don't have a CEO with a middle manager and then 3 worker bees in there. We have a bunch of different ways of doing our group projects, but we don't do it like this unless I'm wrong. Maybe Stefan, I don't know, get some forms out there or something, but we don't actually have a CEO, middle management, operator hierarchy, if you will. And what happens invariably in these organisations is you get this little group, because it's not malicious. It's just because the CEO, the hexagon, can't possibly talk to every blue dot out there. He just doesn't have the time and the bandwidth to do that. So we have this little inner sanctum group of people who actually make the ideas and actually get the ideas and work them through together. And we get great group think ideas like let's wear silly shirts at every Apex here. It's not a great idea, but they keep doing it year in, year out. But it's an example of an inner sanctum. It's where people can't really get, the average person can't jump in there and throw their ideas around. However, we still have all these blue dots out there, and we're paying money for all these brains to be working for us. I guess when you think about it, these managers have sort of got you together because they need bodies, they need to throw bodies at something. But with the bodies comes the brains, and I don't think that companies are making a great use of those resources. So what happens is we have this compromise, and compromise isn't always a good thing, but we get these suggestion boxes whereby the blue dots can then go and supposedly tell the managers, about their ideas, and the managers can move that into the organisation. The trouble is, and what I've seen time and time again with these suggestion programs, is that the suggestion box is either aimed at a middle manager who isn't empowered enough to actually do something with the idea. So what you end up having is the middle manager saying, yeah, it's a great idea, but I can't do anything with it. So what you get here is a quick no, which is kind of deflating. And it also stifles the other ideas from the organisation. The other thing is when a suggestion block is aimed at the senior management. So the senior manager says, yep, send your ideas to me, I'll definitely look at it. Senior manager doesn't have the bandwidth to look at all those ideas, generally, and it disappears into this black hole. That's even worse, because that means that you feel like nobody even looked at your idea, which is a bad way to be.